Welcome to a new edition of the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino. On this episode, we talk with author and transformational success coach and strategist, Iulio Casdia. She is a #1 international best-selling author, coach, marketing positioner, and strategist, along with being a speaker and radio show host, always looking to inspire and empower and educate those around her. She has received numerous awards over her career, and she has a wonderful story. Enjoy this interview.
Thank you for taking some time out to talk to me today. I appreciate it.
Oh, I'm excited. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
You bet. Absolutely. So before we get into your life as an author and transformational success coach, strategist, all of these things that make up who you are, the last 3 years with COVID has been quite a thing for all of us to live through collectively. And I'm wondering how you got through it and how it's changed the way that not only you live your life, but the way that you conduct business now.
Well, funny thing is, and that's a great question, funny thing is it really didn't change my life a lot. I continued to do what I was doing. I had been already online because I coach people all over the world. So I had been in the Zoom platform and those type of platforms for many years because of how I conduct my business. So that didn't shift at all. And when I do my radio show, that didn't shift either. I still went into the studio because I was separated by glass between myself and my producer. So we had a safety mechanism already in place because of the recording process. You want to keep the exterior sounds out. So my life didn't really change that much, and a lot of that had to do also with mindset. I continued to do my habits every day. I continued to do my meditations every day. I continued to work forward small enough things every day, but big enough to make a difference towards my goals. I would continue to do that. And so it didn't really affect my life. And because I have a very strong mindset, a very powerful gratitude base in my mindset, I was just grateful for the small things, as I always am. So that affectation, other than, friends and family having medical issues and challenges, which again, sending healing light to them, nothing else really changed for me. Doesn't that sound crazy? People thought I was nuts because I was still walking around with a smile on my face underneath my mask.
Yeah, no, I don't find it strange, and I find it more common than anything else. And I think there's a level of people that probably don't want to shout too high on the mountain because of everything we went through. But I do think there was quite a few people that lived a good existence over that time, and ultimately it changed them for the best. And I think that's the thing about that time period is that it had a monopoly on it. You had to make a choice to do what you needed to do to get through it. So probably if you were an optimistic person that saw the glass half full before, it just magnified during that time.
Well, without a doubt. And so here's the thing. We have that choice every single day, whether we have a pandemic or not, of what kind of day we're going to have. We have that choice. And in the middle of the day, we have a choice to shift how we're having it. So, you start your day, you stub your toe, you're like, okay, this is how this day's going to go. I have a choice right then to make it a cranky day. Or a positive day, and find the joy, find the love, find the gratitude. I have that choice every day, every minute of every day. And so, again, that's why myself and many people around me didn't turn on the TV. We weren't watching the news. We got enough information we needed to be informed, but we didn't, have it on. I know people who had the TV on listening to the news 24/7. And they were getting more and more depressed because they felt more and more out of alignment with themselves. They felt like they didn't have control over their own life. Whereas that shift difference between that choice and my choice was I didn't really change a lot that I did in my life because I didn't put on the TV. I wasn't listening to all that stuff and getting brought down into that spiral. So, yeah, it's a positive way of looking at life. We always have that choice to shift into the joy. Find the joy in the moment. And there's always joy, even in challenging moments. There's joy that we even have the opportunity to have that challenge, if that makes sense.
It totally does. That's very well said. And to get to kind of the essence of your motivation and being highly driven like you are, I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of third graders at a career day. And one of the kids looks up at you and says, "What do you do for a living?" How do you answer them?
Well, I work with visionaries and people who want to scale their business and people who want to really take action as opposed to maybe sabotaging themselves and not taking action. So what is a success coach? What does a coach do? I'm like your lifeguard standing on the coping. You're in the pool and you're swimming. You're doing your business. You're doing life. So you're treading water, right? You're doing that. In the meantime, while I'm up on the coping, I have a bigger picture of what your life is looking like. And I can let you know, whale in the front, behind you, you have dolphins, right? Or incoming problems, or here's a challenge. I can see that for a couple of reasons. I can show you, because I have no emotional attachment to the outcome, I can show you and I can see things holistically. Now, for me, as a coach, and I'm still speaking to the person who questioned me, to me, I also have a coach because just like proofing things, I don't know if you have this problem, I can't proof my own work. I have to have somebody else look at it because I see what I'm already thinking. I don't see what necessarily is on the page. Our minds do that, right? So I have a coach, and that's a really important thing, to have someone that you could go to that, one, holds you accountable, two, helps guide you through some of your challenges, and helps celebrate with you when you achieve the goals that you want. Does that all make sense to you?
Yeah, it certainly does, and it's interesting that you use that metaphor because I used to be a sports journalist. That's how I got into journalism, and I would always be horrible proofreading, and I still am. It's been one of those things where I've really tried hard to correct and focus, but I think it's what you're saying, and it makes total sense. We can't. We finish it in our minds because we're already moving forward. And the other thing is it's harder for me. Like, I have a coach to help me through things because I'm in it. When you're in it, you can't coach. That's why we have football coach, If I was in the Super Bowl and I was Patrick Mahomes, right, I can only see certain things. People on the sideline and above, when they're in the booth, they have a bird's eye view, as they say, right? They have a different view. They have a different ability to see things, and it's easier for us to see things and go, why did he do this and why didn't he do that? Well, because that's where you are, because you're in the middle of it. You can't see all those options. So my goal is always to recommend to other people, and my goal for myself is to surround myself with people who have different optics, who have different angles to look at what I'm doing, so that I get the best results and I can help the people that I get to help. I get to help people succeed and be successful and be a little part of that success. It's very exciting. I love what I do. So when you were in the third grade, what was your dream when you grew up? What did you want to be?
Oh, to be a Broadway performer.
So are you happy with how everything turned out?
Yeah, life took me in a different direction. I still sing. I sing in a band. I've done live performances, but who I am and what I have to offer, my real purpose showed itself when I was probably mid to late 20s. I knew that I was supposed to be a muse, a guide, a coach. Back then, we used to call it mentoring. So I just saw that that's where my superpower was. It comes easily. What you're meant to do is a passion. It comes easily, and you see what needs to be done so clearly. It's just amazing. And the tools that I developed over the years to help augment that allows me to do what I do today, masterfully.
So let's go back to your childhood, where you were born and raised, and how these seeds began in you to become who you are and to feel this level of success and even to sing and to help people out. How did all that happen to become you?
So my parents had a certain level of expectation, and they held the bar high. My father, I had two older brothers, and my father treated me, both of my parents, but clearly my father treated me the same way he treated my brothers, had that same expectation. So when I was young, I was like, I was reading this book. It's a real throwback, so it really tells what my age is. It's called Cherry Ames, and it was about a nurse. And I was like, I want to be a nurse. And my father went, well, that's fine if that's what you want to be, but why not a doctor? And then as life went on, I was like, yeah, I want to be a senator. And he's like, why not the president? So he always continually raised that bar. And I was like, hey, yeah, why not? And so that and having really good work ethics. My parents, when we were raised, we had to give back. We had to do volunteer work. I've met a lot of people recently who have never volunteered in their life. And giving back to community helps set that ethic. Giving back to that community helps you recognize that you are part of something bigger and that you need to contribute in that manner. So all those things set me up for that. I think we personally, when we are born with our success codes already in us. So we already have a trajectory, and we choose the parents that we choose as a result to get us where we're supposed to get. So what happens in our past makes us who we are today, and good, bad, and ugly of my past. I'm so grateful for even the challenges, the really hard challenges, because that gave me the dexterity, the tools to get me to where I am. And it also shows me that no matter how dark it is, you can get through that tunnel to the light. You just have to stick to it and surround yourself with really, really good people.
So speaking of good people, who's been a role model or a hero for you in your life consistently?
Oh, my father. My father was absolutely a role model. He had a great sense of humor. I think humor is important in life. I am one who laughs at myself on a daily basis because I do what I call a Lorian. I'm like, oh, I'm doing a Lorian. And I just laugh and I fix it and I move on. Doing a Lorian is like making your mistakes, your personal mistakes. And I watched that in my dad. My dad, he would rarely get frustrated. But he was also very intent on helping other people. He was the supreme advocate of other people. He didn't like injustice. He would throw down, and I've learned that I am that advocate. I will stand in the Coliseum and take the shots for other people who don't have the same resilience, as long as I know that once they have the ability to take that next step, that they take those steps, right? So I will stand and do that. That was my dad. Not only did he have a good sense of humor, a good work ethic. He really, you when you started something, you kept there until you finished. Again, passing that on to me. And he was just talented and kind and just so smart. So absolutely my number one role model was Dad.
So if you could meet anybody alive on the planet right now and talk to them, who would it be?
Wow, there's so many people that come to mind. So my current mentor is Jack Canfield. A lot of people know him as Chicken Soup to the Soul. He also wrote The Success Principle. I'm trained in the Canfield methodology. He is my coach and mentor and friend. If I were to meet anybody, and they have to be living?
It can be anybody. Yeah, alive or not here.
Alive or not here, I'd like to meet Eleanor Roosevelt because I thought she was, especially for the time, such a strong woman and had such a strong impact on doing things in a positive way. Living, Oprah Winfrey, only because her trajectory is really interesting, where she came from and where she is now. She's a really good role model, and I'd love to just pick her brain.
We all have motivators in our lives. What gets us up out of bed? What leads us through the day? What's the motivator for you? What leads you to be you and to do what you do on a daily basis?
The opportunity to help people see the greatness in themselves, to be able to get up and help coach classes, master classes, groups of people, do presentations, speak in front of the public, share my lessons so that others don't have to jump those same hurdles. That's my motivation every day to help other people take action so they can achieve their vision and dreams as I have.
So when you lean back at the end of the day and look at a day that you've lived, how do you quantify a good day? How do you say that day worked for me?
Oh, that's really interesting. So every day works for me, and I think, again, it's my mindset and how I look at it, because I always look for either the lesson in the challenge or I look for the joy in my day. And the biggest joyous day, the best days for me are when my clients or people that I'm working with have aha moments, have those breakthroughs. Those are as if I was doing it all over again myself. Those are great joys. It's like watching a child walk. When you see them take that first step, the elation you feel, you're like, come on, you can do this. That's the feel when they break through and they see it. And now they grasp it. And now you just see them running. They're just running at a pace faster than they really even realized they could. Those aha moments are just magical to me. And that's a successful day.
So what are you the proudest of that you've done in your life? What is it that you look back and think, man, I'm really glad that happened?
My 2 sons. That's the proudest accomplishment I have ever had and will ever have, is raising 2 young men who are just good humans who go out in the world and do really great things, and they give back, and they have a really good work ethic, and they make me proud every day, and more importantly, they make themselves proud every day. Best thing I've ever done in my life.
So everyone out there has a perception of you, an idea of who they think you are, your family, your friends, your, clients, anybody that knows you, but ultimately you live your life. You have a perception of yourself. Who do you think you are?
I'm a coach. I'm a mom. And this is not in any order. It's just how it's coming up in my head. I'm a person who is passionate, compassionate, and just wants to help people. I'm here to help people take steps forward, help them find their purpose, and I want to do it in a kind, sensitive manner. I am on the other side, which is really the yin and the yang of it. I am very strong, and I will be the advocate, the protector, if need be, if it's needed. So I hope people see the kindness and the gentleness and the good intention, well intention, and I also hope that they don't confuse my kindness with weakness. So I look at it as that, but really to have the opportunity to positively impact other people who touch my life. I think it's our responsibility.
So, Lori-Ann, if anyone out there wants to get your book, learn more about you, hire you, anything related to your world, where do they go?
They can go to my website, ldcstrategies.com, and they can find me on social at LDC Strategies, or my name, Lori-Ann Iulio Casdia. Probably easier to do the LDC because spelling my name is interesting, and I have a fold-out business card. Only joking. But they can go to ldcstrategies.com, or they can give me a call at 516-983-3591, and I would love to have a chat with them.
Lori-Ann, thank you for opening up. Thanks for your time today. Good luck with everything. I appreciate it.
Oh, my gosh, I appreciate you so much and everything that you do. You're impacting the world in such a positive way, and thank you for the time.
Thanks for tuning in to another famous interview with Joe Dimino, where we cover the world of art, literature, business, spirituality, music, and more from around the globe. If you want to hear more interviews, visit the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino channel on YouTube. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Thanks again for listening, and until next time.